Hey guys, what's going on? It is Sunday night. I've had a long day. I'm cooked, but we're going to have a fun, easy one today. We're going to talk about the stereotype of each zodiac sign. So get ready. Let's dive right in. Let's have a less serious one than usual. So we're going to go in a little different order. We're going to start with Aquarius. We're going to go, you'll see. It's not fair to always go Aries through Pisces, like Pisces always gets just like in life, we always get the worst of everything. You know, we always just no one has any energy left. I'm just joking, but yeah, I like to kind of mix it up, kind of. So let's see here. Okay, so we're gonna start with Aquarius. All right, so what's up with Aquarius? And by the way, I'm winging these as I do, so you guys have to give me time, and I have to write down the timestamps because that's just how it is. All right, so I guess stereotype. I mean, there's a lot with Aquarius. What detached, so emotionally cold, um, like the so rebellious, but they'll kind of do it for the sake of being rebellious as opposed to actually being different. Um, but yeah, I guess we'll just start with the whole there's people and this is not just this is I want to make some videos for people who might not know that much about astrology. Maybe they only know their sun sign, and this can apply to people to anyone, right? I mean, this is I'm not talking about just sun signs, but I could be whatever. I mean, we're talking about the energies themselves, so they manifest differently. As your moon, as your Mercury, as your Venus, Jupiter, Saturn. But yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I guess Aquarius it's more sun sign, I guess. Um, they're kind of like robots, right? Emotionally unavailable. What else? They need so much space. They think they're so much better than everyone. Um, you know. So there's this sense of people thinking Aquarius don't have emotions and that they are so logical and they're when it comes to interpersonal relationships. Shit, I'm about to be saying stuff that's true. um, that they're don't act it sometimes doesn't feel like they really care that much or think that much about the person, but then when it comes to the causes they care about and um, I don't know, very scientific, also in how they study people, and yeah, just almost just emotionally detached, right? When you, yeah. So I'll say and yeah, whenever emotion kind of comes into it, Aquarius, boost. Um, I'll say I mean, I guess I have a lot of Aquarius in my chart, but I'm a Pisces Sun, Sag Moon. In case anyone's wondering, I would say Aquarius. It's so humanitarian. It cares so much that it's kind of impossible for someone to care so much. Let's say about cats or saving nature, and to go insane measures to do that, right? To care about the future of the collective, right? So I think what gets a little bit misinterpreted is that they're willing to, and that sounds kind of Piscean, sacrifice themselves for something bigger. And they're also very friendship oriented, right? So I don't know if anyone in here has ever, dated. I don't know how Aquarius um, men are in this sense, but Aquarius woman, you know, you are you're if you think you're gonna go in their life and just become more important than their friends and what they have going on for themselves and just it's not gonna happen. Um, so they are so and that's good. They're not they have what they care about, but when it comes to actually being loyal, it's a fixed sign. They can really do it. Better than some other air signs. um, and I think that the person, whether in any kind of relationship, like they think about you. Like they might not hit you up all the time on the daily, but in those moments that matter, they kind of show up like the little aliens that they are. Um, so, I think that there's being ruled by Uranus, they have this like psychic kind of like download connected to the collective energy and element to them, which to me I think requires a lot of space to process, and I think that they tend to prefer logic, even though they still have emotions. I think that they're good at being able to separate, especially in times of need, when you need to be a leader and there's chaos. Like Aquarius people are good at kind of keeping it cool. So yeah, and I think they really care about freedom, and part of freedom is individuation. Individuation is like, we are not all AI, we're not all the same. So like let's embrace the things that make us different, kind of. Okay, that's kind of longer than I wanted to do, so whatever. 6:40. So Libra. I guess for Libra, they get the whole indecisive, people pleasing, superficial, kind of, what's the word in English? Like when you like kind of just tell someone what they want to hear, but are kind of is it flimsy? Yeah, I don't know in English. So yeah, I mean, I guess like the whole thing romantically would be like they leave people on, they can't make a decision. Yeah, so indecisive. Now, that shit's true. Like Libra Mars especially, like they cannot make up their goddamn mind. Like, and it's frustrating. Like I have some experience like with Libra. When I say that, what I mean is like, whether it's from my direct experience or from an experience of someone that I'm so close to, like a friend, that might as well be my direct experience, or client, which I've had so many of them that I pretty much have direct experience with every single thing I could possibly talk about here. Let's just say that like sometimes like Libra, like it's like the fear of the confrontation, right? And then the passive aggressiveness, or even just like, okay, I don't want to have like this argument, so I'm just gonna do what I was gonna do anyways. Opposite sign, Aries, right? I'm just gonna tell you what you want to hear, kind of thing, right? The thing about Libra is that Libra is constantly weighing everything, right? So they're always like trying to figure out, and so that's a very exhausting thing if you're always trying to like balance, like a Libra moon, just like, oh my god, like this, like just, but maybe that was like a little bit too much, but like maybe she thought I was thinking this or that, like that's how it be. It sounds more Virgo. So yeah, they just like, imagine like hearing every single side of an argument and then empathizing with all of them, right? So there's too much empathy here, right? There's too much of this thought of the other person and the experience of the other person. That's what it's all about. So I feel like it's just really a lot. They really want what's fair, and they want peace. But unfortunately, a lot of times they get put in positions where that's not possible, right? Make this decision now. And like, if, but like that decision would require, it's really hard to have those 50-50 where everyone benefits the exact same way and no one gets screwed over, right? Now, Hmm. 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 What else can I say about Libra? I mean, I don't know. I feel like the stereotypes are pretty real. But even the good ones, like, they're so good socially. Like, in those situations, sometimes you need a Libra to just be there to just like ease tensions. To be the one to like, okay, I see what they're saying, and I see what they're saying. As diplomats, and oof, I just looked at my TV. I saw a crazy dunk. Um, so I guess like I would say like some person might be like, oh, they're fake, they're people pleasers, right? But sometimes they're just trying to like mirror and charm and get people and make people happy, but they want that balance, so they don't want the conflict, so sometimes it comes at the expense of them seeming like they're trying to be inauthentic. Yeah. I don't know what else I could say about Libra. Like what's like a stereotype. I mean, they get a lot. Yeah. I don't know. Let's just leave it there for Libra. Let's go to Gemini. So Gemini, obviously, you know, funny one right now. Hold on. So Gemini, you get the two-faced. You get the talkative. They talk too much. They are flaky. They manipulate. They say one thing, they do another. They're not authentic people. They're liars. Um, and sometimes they are, but they get a lot of shit. And I don't know. I don't really look that much online or anything like that. I just hear what I hear about Gemini. I'm like, damn, they definitely get the worst of any. I mean, what sign gets it worse than Gemini? I mean, let me think. I don't really from people like that I hear from. I feel like us Pisces men get it kind of bad, but then we have like legends like we have certain legends that save us. Bad Bunny, me, just joking. I just trying to put myself in the same sentence as someone famous. Um, but no, it's true. Like there are like a lot of toxic like Pisces men, but then there are like some that are just fucking dope. So yeah. But yeah, okay. So yeah, so Gemini, I would say like I'm not gonna go into like the whole thought, like yeah, which sign. I mean, Libra gets a lot of hate too. What else? Leo. I guess a lot of them do in different ways. Depends if it's male or female. Scorpio, but I feel like that's hopefully died down. Maybe Cancer's taking over for for Scorpio. But yeah, so I think like the Gemini thing is just like the two-faced, right? Um, but the thing about it is like Gemini is about experience and trial and error. So if you have like a lot of Gemini in your chart, like you're probably here karmically because you didn't do that enough in past lives, right? You weren't curious. And I'm just not being dead honest with you guys right now. I'm literally looking over at basketball when I look over, but I'm still talking. But just being really, really honest. I could have sat over there and just had the screen right in front of me, but I wanted the beautiful painting behind me. So, yeah, like Gemini's, I guess, like they crave experience and novelty, and obviously, you need to get a birth chart done by me. Go to jesseansastrology.com. We could book a live one, or just do a live one. I'm kind of over the. I mean, I don't know. Record ones are cool, but I prefer live. And yeah, like we can talk about the entire chart, but yeah, people who love Gemini usually I see the entire like kind of karmic overlay of the chart. I'm always like, yeah, this person definitely needs to like experience, and sometimes they get shit like, oh, they're like, Venus and Gemini, they're the sluts of the zodiac because they'll date someone just because they're curious about like their tattoos or something, or because of their certain interest they have, and they'll like the person will think like that they're dating the person, and the Gemini is like, no, I was just like curious about them. But I don't know. I think like they just have this how do I even say this? I mean, it's a mutable sign, so it's almost like a code switching, right? And so they kind of like Pisces. They have like a very high. It's ruled by Mercury, so they have this super high social intelligence, and they're able to adapt like crazy. Ruled by Mercury, the mind, so they talk very well, and I think that that kind of runs into that whole like they're so flaky, they're so this. Well, I mean, I've seen and they're not loyal. Well, I've seen a lot of loyal Geminis. It's just that they need someone who stimulates them, that mind of theirs. You know, I've heard like the other one about Geminis. They can't commit. They cheat. Blah blah blah. Well, they need the right kind of person. You know, maybe they need an alternative type of relationship. Some of them, I don't know. I know a lot of Geminis that are like, well, like of every sign that I would say that's like trans, like homosexual, bisexual. What else was I thinking of? There's another one. Trans. I don't really, yeah, I feel like anything like that. There's one, I don't know what, like how, that's just the fatigue. But I'm doing good so far, guys. Let me sip some of this matcha. Give me a second. We're trying to stay alive. It's usually like the fatigue, like I'm relaxed, which is good. But like then I'll just say things a little bit slower. But I don't go on huge rants when I'm tired. So maybe some people who don't like my rants, some people do. I don't know if people do actually. I would like to know if, because yeah, it's kind of a big deal if people don't like this. So anyways, I would say like the whole flaky element. I don't know. I think like I said, like imagine you had past lives. Just give an extreme example where you were just like chained, imprisoned, metaphorically or physically. You weren't able to experience. Because you weren't able to experience, you weren't able to develop a worldview. Because you weren't able to develop a worldview, you just stayed in the same little bubble and did the same little thing, and you just stayed the same soul without growth. Well, as a Gemini, you're a scientist in the sense of like you're the experimenter, right? Well, I mean, Scorpio is a scientist, but you know what I mean. You're the one who's meant to. You're meant to go out and go try things. So you just need the right person, honestly. And I'm not just saying that. Like you need the right person. And sometimes like people say Gemini have no emotions, air sign, blah blah blah. But I've seen a lot of Geminis get really really sad, really sad when they about relationship stuff. And obviously it's depending on the moon sign. I'm talking like I'm thinking of someone with like a lot of fire in Gemini, just like really, 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 really hurt, who wanted loyal relationship and this and that. But sometimes they do self-sabotage. Let's not be fake. And sometimes they do. They're like they need to slow down, right? Now I'm not turning this into advice hour, but I've noticed that Geminis that do well are ones who are able to like be a bit grounded. And I'm not one to talk because I have like no earth in my chart and all mutable. But I do have my progressed sun in Taurus. And if you don't know about a progressed chart, you gotta talk to me, because this has been this has been the only thing I've been eating. I don't eat food anymore. I eat progressed charts. I eat information, books and books and books and books and thoughts and writing and coming up with my own ideas. Like, oh my God, only progressed charts. I breathe it. It's my oxygen. It's like I'm in a relationship with the study of progressed charts. So get with me about that. Okay. Anyways, so now we're at Pisces. So here I actually wrote some stuff down for this one. What time are we at? Damn, it's taking so long. Time has felt so weird lately. Anyone agree? Comment below. Are my eyes red? Not really, just droopy. I look so much different at 1 p.m. Is it the shadow of the light? I don't know. I think I look like my eyes were changed colors. It's freaking me out. My eyes go like, wow, that's like, it's 9:30. That was literally, was it 1:30 or 2? I think it was 1:30, 8 hours ago, that my eyes were like nearly completely green. That's not green. That's like brown as fuck. Excuse my language. Maybe it's the light. I don't know. Whatever. I don't look at myself. I just did. But yeah, so Pisces. Okay. Well, we all know. Let's not go too hard on Pisces. Poor Pisces. First of all, I don't consider myself a Pisces. I'll tell you why, and this is not about me. Pisces is the last sign, so it's a mix of the first 11. So no two Pisces are. Pisces is it's a mix of the first 11. It's kind of like a hybrid, right? And there's traits that unify them, but no two Pisces are really the same. I think most people that meet me think I'm a Scorpio or an Aquarius or a Leo. And they're not wrong. I would say Aquarius and Scorpio are the two signs that define me the most. Sagittarius moon too, though. But like, I don't know. I do live all over the world, and yeah, whatever. So I would say like where do I start? Okay, well with Pisces, let's start with how well, it's the hard part about this, like doing this on the run, is like I can easily think about probably like 50 like stereotypes of Pisces, right? Even though I'm not like that in tune, like part of what I do on my channel, my Instagram, is that I don't really follow lately. Like I go in phases. Like when I read astrology stuff, I'm reading like books that are like 50 years old or like 20 or 30 years old, or even if they're modern, they're not written by people that you'd find anywhere in circles on the internet, right? Which is very Aquarius and Venus and Mars and me. But my point is like, kind of a recluse, kind of. So I don't really. I mean, I guess I do know what's said, because I have so many clients and so many people on my IG that like talk to me, and people. So yeah, but if there's any new trends or whatever about it, because like I know like people talk, like a lot of women talk about Pisces men being like the whores, or not the whores, the that's the Geminis. The ghosters, and like, look, that shit's true. Like I don't do it. I personally do not do that. I never do that. In fact, I will avoid that. But that's me. I told you guys, I'm more, like way more Leo, Sag, Aquarius. Whatever other signs I have, and just a lot of Scorpionic energy. So, but I think in general it's true, because they're afraid. They're like, Pisces is like, so Pisces is okay. Well, let's start here. So people will think, okay, well, it's so, oh my God, Pisces, you're so sensitive. Pisces run away from their feelings more than any other sign by far. It's not even close. So like when you say too sensitive for the world, it's true. There's a difference between being emotional and sensitive. Pisces is too sensitive. Yeah, we are. But like, are we emotional? We're definitely an emotional mess. That's for sure. Nearly all of us, right? Like, because we're not in touch with that. We're like extremely. So this is the right ratio. I'm making this up as I go, so bear with me. So if you're really if you're this much sensitive, you should have like an emotional. There should be some kind of link between like how emotional you are, right? I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. If you're not that sensitive, I mean, then it would make sense if you were like not sensitive, but then you're acting extremely emotional, right? Is that like histrionic? It's not, but I could see that being like someone with histrionic personality sort of being like that, or narcissistic personality sort of being like that. Maybe not. Don't quote me on those last things. I'm just saying, yeah. But basically, and I do have 2 psychology master's degrees. You guys have to respect that. But anyways, yeah, like basically I could say a million things about Pisces. Let's just say that there's so much of it that's true that's really hard. Like, yes, the escapism, true. Whether it's drugs, alcohol, video games, but like really just it comes from being too sensitive and being linked to Neptune, which is heaven. Pisces are angels, even though some of them are like have not turned have turned into demons, and it's because at one point they were this little innocent boy or girl, and something really effed them up, and they romanticized everything. They saw the best in everything, and at some point, the world, the reality, the Saturn, showed them, why are you being so naive, right? Like, we're not in this realm. We're not in this Neptunian heavenly realm. So then they either do the escapist thing and just hide from closeness their whole life. Really good at it too. They are ruled by Neptune. Neptune rules cameras. Cameras rules actors, actresses. Lots of Pisces are the most talented artists, actors, all that, because think about it. You're playing, Pisces is the chameleon. What does an actor do? It's a chameleon. So I guess to my point, I would say that Pisces like just have a really hard time with reality, and you have to go like easier on them. Like, just because they like if they ghost you, like, it might not even be because they don't like you. It might be because they don't think they deserve you, and it might be because they woke up one day from some fucked up dream, like, and they see themselves. They can't see themselves clearly, and they just think like they just feel like they're like a broken person, and then they see you as this she'll like if it's a guy, right? And maybe I'm giving some of them definitely don't do this, but they might think like how the hell is she, like, how the hell is this woman gonna like still love me on a day like today if we woke up next to each other? Like they start thinking, they overthinkers, right? Opposite side Virgo. So there's yeah, and then there's no off switch for that empathy, right? So and there's no boundaries. They're very real. They're too real. So sometimes when you're too real, it's like it's kind of hard to exist. It's kind of hard to exist. It's like there's no editing to you. But then that's why some, Neptune, which also represents the ideal, why some Pisces placements do the complete opposite and just go full editing, aka, well, actually Virgo rules plastic surgery, but no, let's say no, Neptune probably would, honestly. Virgo rules perfection, and maybe that Virgo Pisces axis, yeah. So maybe some Pisces, here we go, will lack such an understanding of who they truly are, and like that they will then you know become someone else. They'll see a celebrity, they'll see someone they idolizes from their high school or whatever, who knows, and they'll just emulate everything from that person without ever noticing, wow, I completely became this person that I'm not. Yeah. What else? Stereotypes. It's just like with any other sign. I mean, there's high and low vibes. So yeah, like a lot of Pisces are delusional dreamers. Like I said before, I can think of many. If they don't take that Virgo energy, the opposite sign, and they could have the most amazing coming. I literally have had like four. I started writing down my movie ideas because I just have like ridiculous movie ideas, but I'm not ever gonna do anything with them probably. So I think I sent like two of them to friends. One was, they're like, wow, it's like the most amazing thing I've ever heard. Maybe okay, maybe that's might be one like that. Like that's like unbelievable. But like, then the Virgo part would be me actually like going and like making the necessary steps happen. But I'm just fine with just, hey, Esme, here, Esme. You can do it, Messi. Make the jump. Make the jump. She didn't do it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just happy with like whatever I was just talking about. With the idea and like the creative process, and like I'm not about to go like and that's very Pisces too. Like I'm not about to go like deal with humans and to get like something creative made that is gonna take like a like once I heard this thing of like this one, there's very few people in this world I dislike, right? There's one guy I went to high school with that I really really like. I don't think I'll ever be able to like him. Like I just think he's horrible, and I haven't seen him forever, but when I think of like people like I should like dislike or hate way more people, but I don't. And I think like I don't know. I think with people, I think Pisces are very very good at seeing the good in people, right? And that's kind of like what leads you to the issues, right? Whether it's romantic and you're like, okay, well, you see the potential of that person, not who that person is at that moment. And yeah, with friendships too, it could be like, yeah. So I kind of lost. This is gonna happen throughout this video, so you guys just have to get used to it. When I'm tired, my brain, the gears don't turn as fast. They still turn, and the truth comes out just as good. But sometimes I just completely, the thing that I was gonna say about that guy from high school just like left. It just flew away. Cause I looked at Esmond. Esmond was gonna make like a pretty daring jump for her little small cat like frame. But she'll be up here soon. She's right here. Come here, Esmond. Here's Esmond. You guys haven't met her yet. She has a Instagram. But people are unfollowing you, Esme. What's going on? You're only at 3,500 followers. My Astro Cat. So, second week in a row, she's made an appearance. So you want to say like that? You want to help me with this? You're good, Stereotypes. She came right in time for Cancer. What a Cancer, right? Well, we're nearly there. We're at Scorpio. Hey. Sag, your moon is later. We haven't done any of yours yet. Well, we did do Aquarius, your rising, but don't worry, Esme. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. I just think Pisces like Like, just give them space, give them time. Don't put pressure on them. Don't tell, like, don't, I think that they get overwhelmed really easily, especially with people where they feel like a Pisces is like, it lives in the magical realm. So as a Pisces, the worst thing you can tell a Pisces is like something like, it's all in your head, you know? Like, just listen to them. Listen to them, and then be prepared for magic, because it's pretty incredible. Despite us being actual mood disorder head cases for the most part, in the sense of like just really bad at having consistent moods depending on our moon sign. Obviously, most important. I'm mainly talking about we can also just like people with a lot of Pisces is what we're talking about more, but in general, usually really genuine. It just depends how much we've been hurt, and how much you've recovered, because the escapist tendency is a very real thing for Pisces, and a lot of addicts, drug addicts, alcoholics especially, right? Hey, you're not an alcoholic. But then also, when you're in sobriety, that's when you see a lot of Pisces too. There's like these weird plants. You're scratching shit out of me. Like right outside my window. I don't know. It's spring here in Argentina, so. Vet said he could lose fight. Okay, I'm going to text him about his dog. This is big information. Should we read it? Vet said Odie could lose 5 to 6 pounds. It's going to be easy peasy. I feed him less than I have been, and look at this athlete. And he sent me a video of the great Odie. Maybe one day Odie will be on the channel. You never know. Could have made it happen. Okay, let's talk about Scorpio. 18. Yeah, okay, so these are getting way too long. So I'm going to slow them. I'm just going to be really fast with Scorpio. Scorpios are... I'm joking. Scorpio, stereotype, just absolute psychopaths, obsessed with control, manipulative. They use that. They're super smart emotionally, and they use that emotional intelligence to get back at people. They are evil. They are whatever, everything. Like they're a lot. They will ruin your life and then be happy about it. They have trust issues, and and then there's also ones like the fact of like just they're natural psychologists, right? So I would say, and then like just how dramatic they are, right? I would say that the dramatic part, right? At least we can start there. Comes from the fact that Scorpio is about death, rebirth, transformation. Scorpios are not here. People with Scorpio places are here to go through massive changes. So, like someone with like a lot of 8th house, Scorpio, Pluto in their chart, they will look at themselves at different parts of their lives. Like I have that, by the way. And it's almost like an actor / actress was playing you at different phases in your life. It's that drastic of a change. I know most humans go through maturation and psychological, spiritual development, but for Scorpios, it's more intense. So because of that, that's why there's a lot of crises that tends to come with that, right? Especially if you have like North Node in Scorpio, and if you have like a Hades moon, like Pluto connected to your moon in any way, it doesn't have to be Scorpio moon, whatever, right? Just Scorpio. So I think that they just refuse to repress anything. So, like, if you're trying to like kind of like play it cool and you say something like a Scorpio is not gonna really let it slide. Like they have that, like I said, that intensity that's built in, and they crave depth. So like small talk, all that, like it doesn't work for them. So they really create this intensity, right? They always just say that they create this raw realness. So when you talk about them being jealous, all this and that, well, that's because they keep shit real, and obsessed with control. That's just a low vibration of Scorpio. True Scorpio is about power, but true power being found within. But the lower manifestation of Scorpio is someone who's been dominated, depending, let's say, like they have Pluto, like opposite square sun, father that just was very, very dominant, and they can never be, never good enough, and, psychologically manipulated with the moon, right? Like lots of like passed down, messed up things in the family on the maternal side. It's not always like that, like with the mother and dad, in my experience, but yeah. So I would say that like because it's such an intense sign, they process emotion in a way that has no repression, and it's very useless for them to they're here to incarnate and usually have a level of intensity. Trust me, I have a lot of experience with Scorpio. If you guys know me, probably the most. If we talk about qualitative rather than quantitative, so yeah, like they are one of the best signs, if not the best, when it comes to just real, raw, like, if you meet the right Scorpio, changes your life. Because they can give you like this, especially if the moon is well, if we're talking about compatibility, if the moon and all that is well aspected with your moon and just your charts overall, you get a compatibility reading with Jesse Innocent at jesseinnocentastrology.com, and feel free to email me or actually just message me on Instagram at jesseinnocentastro. I will answer you. We'll talk and we'll have a great conversation. But yeah, that's what I say about that. Okay, next. Well, actually, not next. We're not done with Scorpio. Yeah, like I guess because it's so much about rebirth, it's very sexually obsessed, right? Like they love sex, they do, but not all of them. Like in like a promiscuous type of way. It's just that for them, it's very sacred, and I don't know, like what's wrong with like loving sex? I think I'm pretty okay with a Scorpio, woman that I would, like, I'm just saying, like, if that's what she likes, like, there's worse things she could like. If she liked to, like, I don't know, hit me on the head with a lamp, maybe we'd have a problem. But I'm cool with that one. Excuse the vulgarity. But, let's say, like, I feel like they love to help people. And when you keep it real, because they can see through your BS, when you keep it real with them and they feel like they can actually talk around you, like you'll see the greatest gift, which is someone who's actually a real human. Speaking of real human or not real human, Esme, it's Cancer time. The sign I've had a lot of trouble with, men and women. And this eye hurts. Right? Why? Which one is the father eye? That'd be funny if it was the left eye. Wait, left. Wait, yes, the AI. Which eye is the or set? I guess like, yeah, eye is the one that's connected with the father. I twitched in one eye, or one eye looked like it was like smaller. Maybe it's just my camera. Like this looks no. This one looks small, right? This one. This is left. Okay. No, which eye? Like if you talk about like the eye you see out of your eyes. Come on. One eye is the mom or like the more masculine one. I know the answer. Why am I asking? It switches. So the left is feminine, the right is masculine, right? Because with the face it switches, and right brain is usually feminine. So right with eye would be masculine. Let's see. Left eye feminine, right eye masculine. Let's go. Your boy got it. And my right eye, I don't know. Whatever. My dad is cool. He's cool. But I don't know. I was just like wanted to see what was gonna happen with it, if there was any reaction. Okay, I need to stop whispering and get to the shit. I have a lot of cancers in my life. My brother, my dad, a lot of other people that I've met through across the times. Some really a lot of good people. I'm kind of just joking. I'm like a very undrama person. The word I just made up. So I feel like, I guess maybe 1 sec. I'm just very honest too. I'm getting my remote so I can put on a different basketball game, even though I'm not watching it. I feel like they can kind of. I feel like. Oh shit! The fucking Blazers. Okay, sorry. Excuse my language. I'm a basketball fan. I'm a football like European, well South American, not American football. I used to be. And basketball my whole life since I was a kid, a baby, really young, really like weirdly young. And baseball now. I just started becoming obsessed with like loving baseball. What an incredible sport. I love how it's like international too. I didn't realize that it was that international, and that's like a huge thing for me. I can't watch a sport that's like only 300, only what US is like. I think that's probably let me calculate. I think it's 3 or 4% of the world population is America. So, and it's the only country that plays American football. So why would you watch a sport like that when you have like real football where 100% of the world, it's the number one sport everywhere, every other country pretty much. Well, I guess cricket. India's probably cricket, but the point is that they still it's loved everywhere. It's watched everywhere. It's huge everywhere. It's literally the biggest thing in the world that connects people. And I think that is the reason why you should love football, and that you should just not, depending on where you're from. I mean, if you're from the United States, like, don't like soccer, as it's called, is just so cringy and just it's just the U.S. national team will always fail until they actually start calling a sport the name until they actually change American football to the name American football. They will have bad karma and continue to embarrass themselves like they do every World Cup, pretty much, as I laugh and cheer against them because I'm evil. But I cheer for them in basketball. I love that. I love the American team in basketball, the dream team. So there's some things that I love about America. Don't get me wrong. I'm no hater. I just have always hated soccer and the types of people who play. Like, and don't get mad at me for saying that. And this is the last. I'm not gonna go on another like tangent after this. I went to like a bunch of different schools. I was like the transfer king. Super mutable Pisces Sag. Can't make my mind about what school. But no, I went to University of San Francisco my first year. Should have gone. I nearly went to the University of Arizona. I think I would have died if I went there, but I had a great time doing it. But yeah, it was a soccer dudes from SoCal. They're all these blonde surfer looking guys. Those types who basically were doing. I don't want to be vulgar, but they were doing date the R word. The bad thing that happens. The date R DR, not Dominican Republic. Date Ring. And I actually went to a party at that house and did it to myself, which is like, it's not really a good time for like a funny story. You guys will see, like when I started doing I'm not gonna release them until the time is correct, but I think I'm better at that than I am at astrology, or like it's different. I don't want to call it streaming because it's not live, but I've done 2 on accident, not planned. One last Saturday, one yesterday. Just walking around Buenos Aires, just going with the flow, just no plan, and it's been incredible. Like completely sober, meeting people, just I don't know. Something happens with me. I just come alive, and I'm hoping it's not just like 2 random days where I'm not like socially awkward, and like I'm super personable. I don't know, but I'm keeping it a secret, kind of, not really. But I'm not gonna. Maybe I might do like an IG live or 2 where like I come out. But until my astrology improves, it's not worth it. But just to give you guys an idea, I had a very random way it started, and I pulled a chart. This is one of the craziest things that you'll ever hear if you really know astrology. Because like nothing impresses me anymore. And sorry, I know I'm still on a tangent. Nothing impresses me anymore. You can tell me anything. I'm like, okay, cool. Like I saw a chart. I know I just said the R word, and I know I just was talking about a story about me R wording myself. Yes, I went to their stupid party. I didn't have a chaser for my alcohol. This is a long time ago when I was in college. I took the Diet Coke out of their fridge. I poured it in my Absolute vodka. Drank a ton. Not that much though. And I was a zombie. I woke up with all my clothes on. Nothing happened. I don't know how I got home, but I got home somehow, and I woke up like a like just like a spring, like shoes on in my bed, everything. But I know nothing happened. Although actually I don't know. Maybe something happened. I feel like I would have. Okay, I don't know why we're going there. There's nothing that happened of that sort. I feel like Bill Clinton. I did not have, what did you say? I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Is that what you said? That was pretty cool. Anyways, yeah, I'm all over. I'm okay. I'm starting to lose my mind. I'm starting to get into like that all over the place mode where I just completely lose stories. But I'm just gonna let it happen. I already said it. Like it's already 10:04. The Blazers game started in 6:58. So we gotta move. What the fuck was I just saying? I was saying, okay, DR. There's something that was interesting. Oh my god. If it's not meant to be said, it won't be said. Justiness in 2025. I don't know what the hell I was talking about. Blame it on the 1,000,000 things I had to do today, and all the people I had to help, and all the people that. No, I just had a day of like thing after thing after thing after thing. But no, it was a story about. I'm so sorry. I know people are like, dude, you were just talking about this. Why can't you like go back? Well, I don't have a button to go back. I can't like go back in my recording. They'll probably come back eventually, right? Um, let me just think of things that were relevant. Okay, so if I was talking about that, then I would have talked about that. I feel like it was something like really crazy I did back in the day, but I talked about like how I DR'd myself. I was talking about soccer, football, but that was before. Feels like I was gonna say something like Argentina, or the vlogging, right? Or like the videos. Yeah. Okay. Thank God. Yeah, because I literally like framed it as like this is the thing that still blows my mind. Okay, I pulled a chart for like, okay, so this is something that like I did not plan on it. The circumstances for start, and first of all, I'm not gonna release any ever at this point. I have not made any decision to like take that career, even though my brother, who's very like who's always been very like not always, you could say he's been very like very Mars and Virgo critical of me, right? Hear me out. This is actually really interesting. I'll be fast about it, and I'll get right back to the video. And my dad, both cancers, ironically. So they always told me like, kind of like around even like before I like maybe like around when I was like starting astrology, but not really like making YouTube videos. Maybe some Instagram stuff, but they always set like especially my brother, like you should be doing travel vlogging. Like you. And he's not the kind of person that would say like you like. I remember him saying it because he doesn't say that kind of stuff. Our family, we have like this water in our. We're French and we have water signs. We're not very like emotional or showing emotions or Remember, extremely sensitive, not very emotional or at least showing it. Anyways, no, I don't know. For some reason, I just remember him like saying like that, that I would be really, really good at it, and that I should just do it, and like saying it multiple times, which is like not like him, right? He's like the opposite of me. Anyways, and my dad also, who doesn't know like how to use a cell phone, pretty much, or he pretends he doesn't. He's smart, he's so smart. I should start doing that. But yeah. So anyways, like I pull I like I'm not gonna go into like how it started or like what happened, but let's just say I randomly just started recording, and it led to an entire night of just magic, but like very laid back, normal. Like I could do this for a living, or I could do this. I felt honestly like it sounds extreme. I felt like I found what I came here to do, but I wasn't necessarily like I had all the clues yet. But like it felt the most complete. I felt it was the best feeling I've ever felt. Better than like different, but like on a spiritual level is probably the highest I've ever felt. Besides like peak experiences, like connecting, which are very I like no, even on par with like being on like my highest peak experiences. And that's why I'm like it's so good. Why do I need I don't need like money from it. I don't need social credit from it. So yeah. So anyways, in the chart I made, I just was like, why not? I have it on my iPhone, like the exact time in second that it started. That I made the first one, which represents the start. Everything has a chart. I can make a video about that. Like just like a country has a chart. This team has a chart. Everything has a chart. So the chart, I was expecting, and I'm gonna move back here. I was expecting absolutely nothing. I was like just talking to someone, and I was telling that someone Actually, maybe I didn't even tell her anything. Maybe I didn't even tell that person anything. But yeah, like I look at the chart and I kid you not, it was the most. I expected like a 2 out on a scale of 0 to 100. I expected a 2 out of 100 in terms of like the meaning of the chart and stuff like that. It was 100 out of 100. Seriously. I'm not gonna go into like everything in my natal chart, and I'm just gonna tell you this: the ascendant was the exact same natal ascendant as my brother's at 9 degrees Taurus, which is weird because it started with me sending him a video of this like crazy store, which I never send I very rarely send my brother videos. And in the video, it was a 4-minute video. I was talking in Spanish to the guy. It was very like, it was kind of like a vlog style, right? So then then there was after that, I was at this very like this really really crazy like place in Buenos Aires, like called Bond Street. It's nuts. It's like 1,000 tattoo parlors, like it's the most insane stores. It was late too, so like a lot was closed. There's a lot of art, kind of ghetto look. I mean, you'd probably think like, oh, it's kind of ghetto looking place, but it's in a good area and whatever. And Argentina, everyone's nice. Or yeah, I mean, I'm not scared to walk around in fucking Recoleta, Argentina. Maybe in whatever that place is called that Carlos Tevez is from, but not too many places scare me. So anyways, Blazers game started, so I will be turning my head to watch the game, or at least have it, just being honest. It's my favorite team. But yeah, so you can expect my anger levels or happiness to be very based on what I see. Do not shoot that fucking shot, you fucking idiot. God, this guy's got the IQ of a fucking sheep. All right, anyways, that's a foul. Okay, I'm not gonna do this. This is would literally like be the worst video ever if I commentate. Oh, there you go, nice pass, good cut. Okay, get back on D. Stop being a fucking. I can't say the words I usually say. Don't take those dumbass pull up or step back fucking shots like you're Michael Jordan. Hold on, just for the first few possessions. Oh, no. Can't do anything about that. Okay, push it. Cut. Don't. No. Okay, this is already. Our coach, the Blazers coach, literally just got arrested by the FBI. There you go. Nice shot. There you go, Sharp. Like, our coach just got arrested by the fucking. I hate our ex-coach. This is the Pisces intuition, by the way. I just knew, like, just to look in this guy's eyes. He's an ex-NBA, like Chauncey Billups is his name, right? You guys probably heard of this. It was on every news network. It was a major. It was with the mafia, NBA head coach, and like the night before, I was telling my brother, telling my friend, like I hate him, like I absolutely or not hate, like I don't use that word, but like he's the worst coach in the NBA. He's the worst coach I've ever seen. Like I think I would do I would do a better job than him, just by not being so negative. He doesn't do anything. And now I find out that he's been betting against us. So he's worse than a bad coach. Like there's actually proof of like on Twitter there's like they show like this game where we were losing, and I watch every game. So I probably was like watching this like what he took out we were about to come back like down a bunch, right? We were about to come back at the end down 3 or something. Took out our best player who had 38 points, who's on fire, Denny Avdia. He's from Israel. He's the best Israeli ever. And he put in like our worst player. It's like, I'm sure that's happened a million times. He's just like absolutely just, and he like, yeah, just he's so dumb. I'm like, but now I'm like, maybe he's not that dumb, because I would always say like this guy's IQ is like under 70, Like he just like there's no way. Like he's like, and I'm not trying to be mean, right? Like or act like IQ is the only way of intelligence, right? I'm just saying like this guy is either trying to be stupid, or he's like impressed. It's like he's he impressed me with how stupid he was. Okay, sports fan stuff done. And for people who say sports like it's just a distraction, just stop it. Okay, it's we're like if you're a woman saying that, not to be sexist or feminist, like that's like me saying stop it with your makeup, or stop it with your beautification, stop it with the little things that make you happy, with your flowers. Let us be dudes. Let us be men. Like, there's a lot of reasons. Like I played sports my whole life. Super crazy competitor. Man, my TV is like breaking right now in Mercury retrograde. Okay. Anyway, so I still haven't finished the story. I know you guys probably love that. I probably lost half the audience, but basically on this chart, not only was my brother's who I was just talking to, ascendant, the exact ascendant of the chart. Like if I would have started like 5 minutes earlier, or walked in there 5 minutes earlier, and I randomly walked into this place. I wasn't playing. I didn't even know where it was. I wasn't even close to my house. Also, the midheaven was exactly conjunct my north node. Same degree, exact. That just blew me out of the water. Like, I'm like, this is one of the craziest things I've ever seen for me, right? I don't get impressed. Like I said, I've heard everything from clients, you name it. Nothing surprises me. Because I'm like, this isn't like real. Like, this is just, I mean, like I had 2 nights where like I was, able to be more social than usual. Anyways, then it gets even deeper, and Mercury and Mars were conjunct Pluto, which is the biggest part of my chart because it's on my IC and it squares my nodes. So literally the two most important parts of my chart, which are Pluto and the most important part of my chart, which is like, Pluto square node, north node, and north node is conjunct Venus. Venus and north node were conjunct midheaven of this chart, and Mercury and Mars. Mercury, messenger, flogging, walking around, talking to people. Mars, movement, walking around, conjunct that part. Like, I don't even know what to say. Okay, resuming at Cancer. I might as well write a new timestamp for Cancer because I just took a huge break. Maybe that 108. So I'm gonna go way more fast now. Resuming Cancer after long story time about crazy stuff. Okay, so with Cancer, okay, we're going fast. Very clingy, moody. Once they trust, or once they get hurt once, they never trust again. All that's true. Cancers suck. I'm just joking. Over emotional, emotional abusive. So the thing about let's start about, okay. Also, like, because living in the past, melancholic, all that. Well, Cancer is ruled by the moon, 4th house. So it literally, Cancer rules the past. So how can you expect someone that's Cancer not to be, past oriented, right? Because their anchor is their memory. Nostalgia for them is where they get their spirit. That's their spirit, right? And we need people like that, right? Like we don't need a bunch of people like with Sagittarius like me who never ever think about the past, right? We need we need balance. We need different types of people, right? So it's not necessarily regression. I mean, yes, if you're only thinking about it, it can be like that. But it's like they want to remember who they were before the world kind of came in and changed things. And we need the record keepers. We need the people to remind us, right? So that's one. Um, what else? I think they just love safety, you know. So like the whole cleanliness thing. It's the opposite side of Capricorn, right? So like, you know, cancers are about their money. Don't get it twisted. Richest men are cancers, cancer sons. Like a big part of them are born in that Cancer Leo cusp space, and it rules real estate, which is obviously like, you know, where a lot of the world's wealth is. Um, so yeah, I would say that that it's a lot more badass and than it gets credit for. I think that cancers can be really, really Capricornian and hardened, like James Harden, who's playing against me right now. It's a commercial now. And yeah, I would say that they have it's all about finding safety. So when they love all the way, right? And it's not for everyone. It's very kind of like devotional, but yeah, they're not lying about it. They're very emotional, and they're gonna let you know, and they're not gonna just hold things in. But some of them will. And that's why some of them get known as passive aggressive. Like a lot of times, like Mars in Cancer will get called that, right? Or weak, but really, it's just, you know, they have that, like they're very protective of the people that they their family and the people they consider their family, the people they love, right? So they're very loyal, right? So they like a lot of athletes have Mars and Cancer. You know, you see a lot of Cancer in like some of the tough. Conor McGregor, this is always a funny example. He says Sun and Moon in Cancer. Yeah, that's a new Moon, which gives the Aries energy, but still, like Cancer is not weak. It's just like it's a cardinal energy. So try them, you'll see. Like they might not want to. They might be a little bit shy at times, some, but like Cancer is another one of those signs that's just weird because there's so many different types. Like, you know, I've met like the very emotional Cancer, and then I met the Cancer who I would like never ever guess is a Cancer. I would guess Capricorn. I guess Taurus. I guess pretty much everything else. Okay. Next is, speaking of Capricorn. So 113. Okay. So Capricorn is, you know, definitely workaholic. You know, known as being like too obsessed with money. You know, just not really emotionally available necessarily, and yeah, like status being too much to them a little bit. You know, some people, yeah, there's just like too materialistic, right? Too much about like this realm, not about like the spiritual. I think like Capricorns, especially Capricorn moons, are very emotional. I think that they have a great duty and honor, and sometimes what happens when especially the moon, the emotions get stuck, and it's really hard for them to trust because a lot of times they come from like very emotionally stuck. I said this twice in a row. You know, they had hard early lifetimes, right? So I feel like it just takes them longer to open up, but when they do, they lean into that Cancer opposite sign Cancer, which is just very emotional, right? So yeah, I think like sometimes they learned early on lessons that other people learn way later, right? Same with Scorpio. That yeah, that sometimes opening up and like being so, you know, vulnerable doesn't really do the best things. So, it's real like, Saturn takes time. So it takes time for them to really, they're there for the long run, right? So they're all about building foundations. So, I think that, So yeah, what else did I say? I said like obsessed with work and all that stats. Look, for them, they are they have this sense of duty to provide, and they have a sense of duty to, um, be competent to give back, right? So if that comes off as workaholism, okay. I mean, everything is balanced, like, so some of them definitely are, but a lot of them came from, like I said, like early childhood environments where it's like, they were more judged on like how good they were at school or like how good their grades were, right? So that can be hard conditioning to get out of. And also like when people say they're boring, it's like Capricorns are funny as fuck. Excuse my language. They just have a dry sense of humor, but they're very observant, and I find a lot of Capricorns funny because I don't like people who like laugh. Like, I prefer people who it's like they don't laugh. I mean, it depends. A lot of times Capricorns, like, it's harder to make them laugh, but when you do, it's like, you know, you really did something. More, yeah. All right, enough. I quit. No, we have Virgo, Taurus, and then the fires. So shit, still a few more. Okay, so we're going faster now. So this is what happens. This is what happens every time Pisces. So Virgo. Virgo. God damn, where do I start with you guys? My mom's a Virgo. My best friend's a Virgo. Just the OCD, the overly worrying, the nitpicky perfectionism. I could go on and on. The controlling, the hypochondriac, like just noticing every little small thing that's off and having to talk about it. So, I think that Virgos, as I've gotten to know them, they just love in a very different way. And I love Virgo because I know that the small things they do, they love through their love language is action usually, right? Not always. Like, obviously it depends on their whole chart, but so like they might not show the emotion or whatever, but they'll do something incredible, you know. So it's like almost like sometimes the criticism can be for them like it really comes from it's a projection, right? So it's because they observe Mercury, they ruled, so they see everything. So imagine if you noticed every small thing, especially the negative. So as they get better at seeing the positive and not just focusing on the negative, well, that's when it improves, right? But before that, a lot of times they see the negative in themselves, and then they project that onto the people close to them. So they see that, like, for example, their hair isn't perfect, or that they have a little fat in their face, and then they tell their sibling or something like that, like, oh, I see you got a little bit of, like, fat in your face going or something. And the sibling's like, I don't really care, So that's one thing. Let's see what else. It's just like they're just different. Like, they have their system, right? And they like things their way. And I appreciate that. I like things clean. I like things organized. Now, Virgos, can they be a bit much with it? Yes. Everything is about balance. So my mother, for example, her house is beautiful. Feng shui, the organization. I mean, you walk in, you feel a very good vibe. But then she starts coming up with rules. Like I'm in high school, like no using the kitchen after 9 p.m. when I go to bed super late. So I have to adapt, which is Pisces, by the way. Being good at adapting, but like still, like it's like we could easily change something so small that would make this good for both of us, right? But yeah. So I would say, yeah, like they're analyzers. We need analyzers, right? Um, I already said the big part about like kind of how like they demand perfection for themselves. So, you know, they want everything to be as close to God as possible. That's how I see it, or saw it. Like I said that a few weeks ago. Like it's like they're trying to be God, or like they're trying to like replicate what they consider like the divine perfection. So okay, Taurus, 121. We'll just say. Obviously Taurus is very much like kind of like the whole lazy, stubborn, not just afraid of making changes, obsessed with pleasure, all that stuff, right? I might even just pause this game because then I can watch it at halftime. Where's the remote? Hold on. So, yeah. So basically, I would say that Taurus kind of they get known as like the hoarders, the spiritual hoarders, the people that want to make any changes, obsessed with eating. Not saying they're fat, just saying like they love their food, they love their anything involving the senses, and that they don't change their mind. So I would say that Taurus is about peace and presence, and they're here to show that to the rest of us. What I mean by that is that I think that more than a Venus sign, Taurus is an Earth sign. I think it rules Earth. I think like the Buddha is a good example of Taurus, right? So stop stressing so much. Like that's who So if you have Taurus in your chart, perhaps you have past lives where you were overly stressing. You were too much in the past, too much in the future. Just being here now, right? Enjoying what's in front of you, the simplicity. Now, when we talk about like being to this or to that, that's based on a societal standard, right? So I would say that the stability that they have, the ability to be comfortable, to meet their own needs, to not rush, that's power, and people call them slow, but it's like no, they just want to be sure. Of course, once again, there is the opposite sign, Scorpio, so there is that need for balance, but still. I don't know what I can really say about the stubbornness, because like I guess like you could yeah, I mean, I'm just someone who's so big on intellectual open-mindedness, like in just in general, being able to change your mind, admit you're wrong, and I'm not, and a lot. I know a ton of. The irony is that I know so many Taurus who are so good at that it just like doesn't even make sense it's just like, this is just something that people say. Hey Mika. Here. Kiss, kiss. So don't get in the way of my computer. So yeah, basically, Mika, don't rip my sweater. So this is my cat who fell down 6 stories and survived for the 2nd time. Love of my life. Her Venus is, I probably said this to a lot of people. Can you tell that she loves me? Mika. Mika. One of the astrology is real. This cat, Venus exactly conjunct my sun. Jupiter exactly conjunct my moon. Mika. Mika. Literally soulmate. Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2 benefics conjunct sun and moon. Or, yeah, sun and Mercury, because I have a sun and Mercury can see me. So, yeah. And you're a little Aries, Scorpio moon, and Scorpio rising with Aries sun conjunct Uranus. So you're absolutely nuts, and you jump out of 2 windows or fell out. And there's my other April 19th. I have 2 April 19th babies. So anyways, I wish I could flip my camera around like the old old computer. Here's Ina. Ina, come here. She doesn't never listens, but okay. So yeah, I would say like people say they're too materialistic and not enough in the spiritual realm. I don't know. I just think they just like things. It's like it's fine to like. I don't know. I also love good food. I love when I'm sleeping on a bed that feels really comfortable, where the sheets feel like clean and, well, obviously clean, but like where the sheets feel like soft and cool, but like just perfect on my skin. Like so, and people will be like, well, what about like the extreme is vanity? I think that there's a balance, right? I think that sometimes they so actually we'll go back to like the Venus rulership is like that's the beauty part element, right? That's the self-love, and sometimes these things kind of come into hand. So yeah, it's just a different journey. Come here, Ina. Yeah, and even like the laziness thing, like I feel like Taurus are good workers. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like they just like they go at their own pace, but they get the shit done. They don't burn out. They're there for the long haul. So I feel like that's kind of BS. Okay, now we do Sag, my moon sign. So Sagittarius. Oh wait, yeah, this is Sag. I guess like people say Sag can be too over the top. Just like too much, too blunt, too all over the place, reckless, taking too many risks. They just say that. Thinking that they're always right, and that they're smarter than everyone else, and that like dogmatic, you could say. What else do they say? Yeah, I feel like I hear a lot like with Sag that it's just like they're just too much. Like they're it's a fire sign. Like they're just too loud. They're too this. Yeah. Anyways, it's very fun, very positive, right? But yeah, a lot of people also speak about like commitment issues. Definitely a true thing with Sag and Gemini, opposite signs, right? Same energy, opposite. Don't you scratch my sweatshirt, Mika. Yeah, I guess like and they can be preachy, which isn't bad because preachy part. Sagittarius is the philosopher, right? The traveler, the philosopher, the person who is here to experience and to learn and to teach. So if that's your job, and if you've experienced a lot, and caveat, very big important thing, if you've had the experience and if you're okay with being wrong, right? That's the big thing I noticed. Like, I'm a Sag moon, right? I'm not here to pat my own head, but like, and it's kind of sounds crazy to say I enjoy being wrong, but I don't mind it at all. Like, I don't get mad because it gets me closer to the truth. So, and I'm not insecure, like, if I'm wrong about something, you know? That's why, like, I would be down to be, I would not be embarrassed if I was, like, on a public thing and I was wrong. I would just be like, okay, can you explain to me why I'm wrong? Like, I just want to know. I'm not even trying to, you know, like, kind of manipulate you, or what is that? Socratic questioning, kind of. I'm just asking. But yeah. So I think that, like, when your life is about understanding the big picture, why we're here, the truth, different cultures. My God, it's so funny. That you should, and not everyone's gonna want to listen to you, and you should have a filter of. I would say, okay. Here's a big one with Sag. They talk, but when it comes to listening, they don't be listening, right? Well, that's that one. Look, I've seen that too much. I swear, and I don't know. The thing you would say is that they just have so much to say, but, like, that's just the difference between high and low Sag. High Sag knows how to listen. High Sag manifestation. 1 second, I realized texting me about the game. Hold on. So, anyways, yeah. So basically, I think Sag can be like that. Now, when it comes to commitment issues, this is the one that I'm going to dispute, because it's just like Gemini. Like, we just, like, Sag moons, Sag placements. It's like, we're like, honestly, like, not all of us, but most Sag moon people, Sag moon or Sag Venus people I know, I don't know that many Sag sun people. Actually, I know quite a few lately. Before I didn't. They like dating people from other countries or from different cultural backgrounds. Sagittarius is what it rules. So, like, you want to learn commitment issues, right? Like, like, they run away from love. It's more just like Sagittarius is all about freedom, and it's ruled by Jupiter, which is about expansion, right? So they want to keep growing. So if a relationship feels like it's like the classical kind of a relationship, which can feel very stagnant and very much like everything's just staying the same, nothing's changing, it becomes like prison. So I would say that it's just like with Gemini. It's like with the right person that stimulates the mind, that listens, that not just listens in that narcissistic way, right? But that actually, like, has like a similar spiritual, or who has like an outlook and a curiosity for life, and also wants to have the same adventures, go on adventures. Is that loud? My water heating up? Yeah, let's pause that. They can be very good. Commitment can still be hard because there's this whole, like, opportunity cost thing. But like, when you're like Sag placements, when they're really like sometimes you just, it's like I said with Gemini, sometimes you just need a different type of relationship. like I always talk about did I just make a video about like the Aquarian relationship, or yeah, I just made one about like how relationships will be. I think was it on here? Or was it on my Instagram? How relationships will be different in the age of Aquarius, right? How to succeed at them, or was that on here? I can't remember. I think it was on here. I think it was on both. So yeah, go back to that one, right? There's different types of relationships where there's more, energetic breaks, more space, where you can be your own individual self, and this will also echo Aquarius and Gemini and signs like that, right? And I did forget signs from that list of, it's not just signs just because you don't have that sign. One of the signs, Pisces also, Pisces kind of, but really, really like the Sag, Aquarius, Gemini, really, 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 really. Virgo is also mutable, but Virgo is less. I would say probably Virgo is the most of every sign to me. Virgo is the one that's the hardest to understand. There's just too many. It's more than Aquarius. Aquarius is known as that, like, you'll never understand me, but like, I don't know. They're aliens, so it's like you understand they're aliens. You understand at least with Aquarius, you understand that you can never understand Aquarius. Virgo, you're just stuck. Okay. Let's see what else. So, yeah, like the whole like bluntness thing, like, okay, of course there's extremes, but like because they spent so much of their time, so much of their energy philosophizing, thinking of the what if, like reading, just traveling, whatever, whatever Sag is about, wisdom, not just knowledge, wisdom, right? Like what's the meaning, the reason for us being here. So when that's the case, like you could see why you might get a little bit of an ego. You shouldn't, but you could see why you might, right? I could have a huge ego, like around, like, and Neptune transits were like, nope, yeah, you are not you're gonna have an ego. But what I was gonna say is, like, I've been to a lot of countries. I speak, 4 languages, and so I could like literally be like think even unconsciously the fact that I've been to whatever I'm not gonna say how many countries, right? A lot. That like makes me like something that, no, it's just my experience, So I have things that like I've taken from that. But then also the person that's only been to one country, one city, like he or she has had experiences that I haven't had, right? I can learn from everyone. But in terms of the video subject, I think like everything turns into a philosophical lesson. So they're always looking for meaning making, right? And because of that, there's this sort of devotion to like being authentic to what they believe in, and so even if things get a little bit awkward, it's like, well, this is I'm like my philosophy, like my truth. This is what I'm about. So yeah. How can I address the? I just heard. How can I address that? I guess I would say too that like with the relationship thing, like Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, which is positivity, which is optimism. So like a Sag's job on Earth, plays Sag placements. Like we're here to pump people up. We're here to give people that glass is half full. So if we're stuck in a relationship that is making us feel negative, or that's rubbing off on us in a way that's taking away from our freedom, from our ability to be the teacher archetype, to be, even if that's not what we do for a living, like for the people to be there for at the highest level possible for the people that matter to us or that we encounter, then it's kind of selfish for us to take away our natural like abilities, I guess you could say. Because we're here to remind people that life is not a prison sentence. We're here to it's that fire, it's that Jupiterian fire, So it's that positive fire. It's that the non-violent, right? So the commitment stuff, it's like once it's the wanderer is the Sagittarius. So once they figure out, okay, like something or someone that's worth wandering for, stop or not want, they can still wander, but it can be in a different way. Okay, you know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? It could be like, I trust you, you trust me, so let's just make this work. Yeah. Leo. Okay, 2 more. So biggest thing with Leo that I've seen in my experience is that, I mean, there's so many different stereotypes about them. The narcissistic, attention-seeking, dramatic, self-centered, like, what else? Just, like, I mean, it's usually those ones. But then, like, one thing that I'm going to address is that they're not, that it's not sensitive. Leo is so fucking sensitive. There's an individual I once knew, and she had nearly every planet in Leo. I mean, it was crazy. It was one of the biggest times. Hey, don't you do that. And this is the most sensitive person I've ever met, probably, So, it's because, it's ruled by, it's ruled by the sun, and it's the heart energy, right? So, they can be very like self-expressive also. So the emotional, it's not always, they're not always so sensitive depending on like what placement, but definitely really emotional, and a lot of times they're both, right? And yeah, but the whole like narcissistic attention-seeking stuff, look, Leo represents the inner child. The inner child is here. They're here to remind us that life, you're here to explore, you're here to play, you're here to be in a state of play, you're here to find your passions. So people are like, oh, you should be more serious. But it's like, well, maybe, I'm never going to figure out what I truly love and what I truly like, the point of me being on this planet, if I don't act goofy, if I don't go and, try to be great at something, try to be creative at something, right? So, yeah. Then there's, I mean, and then someone would counter and be like, well, but what about like the whole, when this, when the conversation isn't on them, those types of Leos that kind of start freaking out, or that don't listen at all, and it has to be about them, and just very egocentric. Well, I mean, it's ruled by the sun. What do you expect, right? So, I think that we need Leos, right? I mean, without the sun, nothing actually grows. If you think about it like that. So there's like this natural. I'm Leo rising, so I know Leo quite well. Leo South Node. So nothing, like sometimes Leos get a lot of shit, but it's like you want everyone to be just like solemn and not stand out. Leo is about standing out, just like it's opposite sign Aquarius is about individuation and figuring out who you truly are. So, and not to mention, like, people don't understand sometimes how generous Leo is. I mean, to me, there's not. I mean, Pisces, Leo, talk about like most generous signs. I'm sure I'm forgetting some, like, but Leo, so generous. I mean, look, like their job, it's kind of like Sag. It's like they're here to smile. Like I think of like a woman who's always smiling, blonde hair. Like she works at like a daycare kind of place with kids because they rules children too, and she just makes these kids smile and just puts so much of her fiery energy into helping them grow and helping them be happy and mature and you know what I mean. So yeah, and like when you talk about the drama, um I think it's just from that. I mean, they're performers, and they naturally have this desire in this lifetime to put themselves out there and to figure out what makes them special, what makes what really gets them going. Like I was talking about me with the filming stuff. Like I would have never done that unless I took the risk, you know, to just say screw it. I don't care what anyone thinks about me. Like I just don't care, right? And I think Leo, I mean, definitely like Aquarius is the best at doing that. It's opposite signs, so you can kind of both can be like that. Sometimes Leos do care a lot, but um, yeah, I don't know. They just want to be seen. There's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, and like I said, every sign has something they teach us. So like, um, you need people who teach us how to celebrate life, who teach us how to, like I said with Sag, how to stay happy during tough times, how to, um, you know, um, express ourselves, and um, people who can accept, yeah, like I don't know, like admit that they want attention sometimes. Nothing wrong with that. Like a lot of people feel that same way and just don't say it. Maybe that's what pisses people off. But like I get. I've seen some Leos where it's just like way over the top. Like this one Leo, uh, she actually tried to put like an not allegation. That sounds like a crazy word, but she tried to like make up some rumor of something I said I didn't say, but like she was jealous because like it was a party and I was just like kind of I don't know, I was just being myself and people were kind of gravitating towards me more than her because she's just kind of a boring person, I guess. She's just not that interesting, but she tries really hard and very evil. So she basically like tried to make up because like and I saw in her eyes like you um she tried to make up that I said something I didn't, and I was lucky that I had someone there that heard the whole thing and was able to like be like he literally did not say that. Like I was sitting right there. But it's stuff like that, right? And like another example of that same person was that um, this other person um, was staying with her and other friends and like cooked a really good meal. Like not the Leo, this other girl, right? She cooked just out of generosity. Like actually, ironically, this other girl has Leo rising in Mars. Just out of generosity, made like a great, just out of her heart, Leo, the heart, made a great meal, right? So you see the high vibe, right? No need for like, oh my God, you're so special. Just did it, put in the work, it's done. Everyone gets to eat like this really, really good, yummy thing. The Psycho Girl, Virgo moon, by the way, got so jealous, 29-degree Virgo moon, if I remember correctly, that she made everyone stop eating it after like a little bit and then demanded that they ate something that she made. I mean, I know that's a little bit like next level, but it exists. It exists. Okay, Aries, last one, we made it. 2 hour video, and you might as well make it to 2 hours. 1:49:30. We'll do 45. So okay. Whew. My God damn. What time is it? I just pulled a muscle in my stomach. Ugh, that would be a great way to finish this. So okay, obviously Aries, usually the first one that gets all the highest energy of every single astrology video. We start with Aries, and we're all fresh. Then my Pisces were just burnt out. Well, guess how it feels. You know, I actually feel good, fine right now. Kind of. My stomach. Okay, obvious. Yeah, actually, you feel tired. But, like, Aries is obvious. It's the first sign. It's childish. They're angry. They're impulsive. They can't hold their shit. They just do shit without thinking. They are super selfish, super mature. They are literally children in the bad way, right? So, yeah. I think that Aries being the first sign, so you talk about like that impulsivity, right? Being the first sign, it's about trial and error. All right, I know I said that about Gemini, but it's a different type. Gemini, it's more of the, not verbal, but more of the experimental in the sense of like how that then combines to Sagittarius to create philosophies, right? Aries is about just doing shit. So, put simply, it's the most fiery sign, right? Ruled by Mars. Just think of like the most like intense red fire. That's Aries. So they move fast because this is the first time they're experiencing everything, on a karmic level, right? And they have this very unfiltered energy, which is so great sometimes. It's like the opposite of like Libra. They're Libras. Libra, their opposite sign can be too. I need to make feel good. Just really, really thinking about how they're making everyone feel. Aries, they'll say the shit, and then they'll think that after. They'll do that whole thinking thing after. Oh, should I have said that? But like sometimes you need to be like that, right? You need people who are willing to kind of step in and just say the thing that needs to be said or do the thing that needs to be said. Now, of course, they can have horrible tempers. I'm thinking about Aries Moon having PTSD, and but there's honesty, and you gotta love that, right? Because of that, obviously, not you gotta know the whole chart, but it just is what it is, and it says what it thinks. If it's Aries, like Mercury, for example, right? Aries for sure too. And I always say, like, I would rather have someone tell me exactly what they think or how they feel, even if it's like kind of annoying because they're screaming and they have a knife to my neck. I'm just joking about that part. But like I'd rather have that than like passive aggressive, go behind my back, talk shit. Then like 5 months later, I find out that they've been saying things to other people about me. That hasn't really happened, but you hear these stories. So I appreciate Aries a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just think like most of like the bad stuff about Aries just comes from the fact that they are about action and fire and movement. And when you say selfish, it's like, well, it's literally the sign about the self. It's the first house. So they're leaders, right? And they're authentic because they're doing what's coming to them. So and then you can also move this to like, okay, well, they are too kind of impulsive. I mean, yeah, when they love, it's usually this like very immediate 1000%, right? when they want to do something, they 1,000% do it, and then sometimes they'll just quit after, they'll start everything. But yeah, I mean, it's cardinal. It's not as bad as well, it can be kind of bad. I was gonna say Sag, because Sag is mutable, but I don't know. Yeah, Sag is way worse because of the commitment stuff. But still, I mean, if you have like an Aries sun, like a Taurus moon, for example, that'd be good. I mean, for like the purpose of self-starting or a Capricorn moon and continuing. Although Aries sun Capricorn moon would be sun square moon, so maybe that would be a little bit hard. What's a good one? What's a sextile? Aries Aquarius. What are you doing? Aries Gemini. No. Still gonna be pretty crazy. Either one of those. Maybe not. Maybe Aries Aquarius, if it's like the Saturnian type of Aquarius. Yeah, but Aries Gemini. Yeah, it's gonna be a little wild there. I actually know one. I literally was talking about one earlier. Aries Sun Gemini Moon, but very half honest, half not. Let's just say tricky. Not her. I'm just saying. I've seen this energy before. But quick, very quick. But yeah. So as I was saying, it's just like raw life force energy, and they are here to remind us that we need to be strong, and we need to, sometimes step up to the plate and not always need to have permission, not always need to, I don't know, just do it. Just do it. Sometimes, like when it comes to boundaries, for example, and saying the thing that needs to be said that you've waited 2 years to say because you're too scared to, or doing the thing, moving out of the job that is destroying your soul, or whatever it is. Aries reminds us that we need to have courage sometimes, and we just need to just do, and wherever the pieces fall, that's where they fall, and we don't need, like I said, we don't need permission. So I have a weird looking yawn there. So let's see. Might as well go 2 more minutes. If anyone wants to book an astrology reading with me, or one-on-one lessons of people for astrology, only one-on-one at all different level, or people at any level, any different levels. It could be beginner, it could be intermediary. They're all 100% tailored to you, and I promise you will be extremely satisfied. They're very well priced too, and yeah, I just message me. I sell them in packages, but I have been doing some pay-as-you-go lately. I know how it is economically, but if you really want to become like a full-on astrologer, I will teach you in the most like laid-back, whatever way works for you. I'm a Pisces chameleon, so there's passion, there's fun. We usually become best friends. That's that. More on my website, jesseinnisontastrology.com. Next, readings. That's what I do for a living. I make videos, I do all this stuff, but I do astrology readings. I do every single kind that you can imagine. Obviously, natal chart reading is my main kind, and I obviously also do, forecast and current astrology. I prefer someone to have done the natal first, but now I'm caring less and less. So whatever. I have a new reading that I haven't even put on my website yet. I don't even have the full name. Like, I thought I came up with one. What was it? like life reading. It's basically a reading where I go through your entire life. My price for it right now is $500, but it's worth at least like, honestly, like, I'm not even joking. Like, I mean, it's priceless. It's worth thousands. Like, but it's really long if you can actually sit through it, and we can make it shorter. I have one that I have to finish because there's confusion from the client about like she thought it was gonna be like shorter, and she just didn't really know that. I was like, I can't do this in 2 hours. Like, last one was 8 hours long. So, yeah. But yeah, it's worth at least 1,500, 2,000, 2,000, probably 10,000, honestly. But 20,000. But that's not what I'm about. So for right now, 500 works, and if you feel like paying 625, which is the price that like intuitively feels right, yeah. But that's a long reading, and I have you write down like all of your life, like like what year, what date this happened, and we kind of go through it all, go up to the present, and then at the present, then we're able to know the future. It's really, really, really special. It changed my life for myself. Like, I know a lot of really important things. And on the note of like not wanting to know the future, I'm not going to tell you this is going to happen. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm just like, well, I mean, this energy, right? I'll say what's intuitively right to say. Of course, like I said, natal chart readings, that's my bread and butter. I've been doing more of them live on Zoom. You can book with me. We can do it next week. I have openings next week. I've been getting less readings in the past few months, so I've just been reading like insane amounts. Like, I mean, if I could turn my computer around, my camera, you'd see like a stack of books. But a lot of them are ebooks on my computer too. So it's in Spanish and English, everything. Like, yeah, just going crazy with the learning. So compatibility, usually it's relationship, but it could be anything. It could be family, whatever. I do family readings. I haven't done one in a minute, but those are some of the most interesting readings. They're very, very long too, very time intensive, but it's like really like I'll give you an example of one I did. It was a mom and her 4 or 5 kids, and there was like a man, I forget, like kind of, I think he like something happened with him. I can't remember exactly, like, but yeah. So I was able to kind of show all the trends between, because like there's so many things that like that are within the family, right? Like you'll share an aspect, like for example, me, my brother, my dad, we all are water sign sons, and we all have Venus, Pluto, either square or opposition. Me and my dad square, and my brother opposition. A lot of families like share stuff like that, right? So, yeah. And then also you see yourself in the chart of family members. Like my dad's sun is 28 Saturn. My dad's Saturn. Yeah, Saturn is 28 Saturn. 28 Pisces, excuse me. My sun is 28 Pisces. I am my dad's Saturn. My dad's Jupiter is, I think, 13. No. Yeah, 13 Cancer, conjunct his sun. Well, my brother is born on the day of that. So my brother's sun is my dad's Jupiter. I mean, my dad always favored my brother growing up, right? So you have stuff like that just explains dynamics, and then you just have the whole synastry. It's just very interesting. It's long, it's custom. I don't even have it on my website, but just message me on Instagram or on email at jesseannistonastro or at jesseannistonastrology.com at gmail.com. Wait, jesseannistonastrology@gmail.com. And then I do astrocartography, either local or international. Obviously international is the normal kind. A lot of people just have me like go through the entire world, but like a lot of other people want to focus on moving, like even if it's like within like what neighborhood, like I can do that too. Like what not just like what city. We can get down to that, right? And you can have like, okay, I want to move to, or consider moving to one of these places, right? maybe it's just only, for example, I've had multiple readings where it's only in America. So we're like looking in America, and usually there's only a few lines, right? Astrocartography it's the whole map with different lines of planets that represent, that are, that are different person to person. But there's way more than that, and we go into that in that reading, and we figure out kind of where, if it's for relocation, what the main, kind of what that would look like. And then a lot of people just like to know their hot spots and their cold spots, right? But also it's more complicated than that. Like, I live on a Saturn IC line, which most astrologers would say never lived there, and this is my favorite city with Istanbul. Two best cities in the world, in my opinion, Istanbul and Buenos Aires, for my tastes, right? Which is probably the two most football obsessed cities in the world. So, and well, I've never been to Brazil, but Brazil doesn't kind of cool. Brazil doesn't come close to Argentina in football. It's got like 5 times the population, and they still get their ass kicked. But yeah, anyways, that's not the subject of this. So anyways, and I offer more. Just go on jesseinnocentastrology.com, hit services. I just fixed something on my website. There was a bug that made it so like people weren't able to like book readings, or like they're having a lot of problems on their phones. That's gone. So you can email me or message me at Jesse Innocent Astro, just how it's spelled here, but Astro on Instagram. Any questions? I'm very down to earth. I will speak to you about anything. If you want to be a student and you know nothing, please don't be embarrassed just because I'm wearing a black sweatshirt that says Zodiac. Doesn't mean I'm some like, I'm not going to take this off after and just put on like whatever, just some random shit and just watch this basketball game. I paused for you guys. So much love to all. I think this video over 2 hours. If you watch all this, please comment. I watched all this, and I'm gonna just remember it. I'm gonna write down in my calendar for 2029. And remind me I said that too, because I will forget that. Remind me I said that you said if I watched it all, you are going to remember it and write down in your Google phone calendar for some time in 2029 my name. Not for any reason in particular. We'll just see what happens by then. Maybe I already know. So, thank you so much. Ciao.